Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about how Tolkien and the Lord of the Rings is alt-right.
Yes, because of course it is.
Because Rachel Maddow said so. This is a couple days ago. We're a little late to this one, but we're going to talk about that. We're going to see some people refuting it. I think this is an incredibly stupid thing, but this whole myth has been perpetuated for years now. They've really been gunning for Tolkien.
Rachel Maddow says a stupid thing. No.
Oh my God.
Never.
So let's talk about this. Before we get into any further, please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, guys. Yeah, woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Yeah, so this comes from Reason Magazine. This happened a couple days ago. She made some comments because of JD Vance, who is Trump's running mate, liking Tolkien. He's an author. Lots of people like Tolkien. So if this is the case, if Tolkien is alt-right, then why is Amazon spending so damn much money on it? In fact, they just bought the studio near London, UK, as a creative home for the series. They're going to keep making more off-brand Tolkien. But it's alt-right.
And if it was so alt-right, why the hell did they make all the changes to the new show that people were like, why are you adding all these diverse characters that were in the originals?
Where'd all the brown hobbits go?
I know, it's like there was like a hobbit genocide or something.
There's a problem here. All the brown hobbits are gone. All right, Rachel Maddow, liking the Lord of the Rings is far right. So let's see the stupidity she said. I have not watched the clip yet, so I'm going to read this and we're going to react to it. MSNBC's Rachel Maddow thinks it's very interesting that the Republican vice presidential contender JD Vance named his venture capital firm after a magical object from the series The Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings is sort of a favorite cosmos for naming things and cultural references for a lot of far-right and alt-right figures in Europe and the US, she said. Dumbass. She further noted that Peter Thiel, a billionaire venture capitalist and supporter of Vance, also named one of his companies Palantir after Lord of the Rings item. Yeah, so it's what the fuck? I'm just like, so that's what she said. She's like, oh, of course he does. Peter Thiel, by the way, is gay.
Yeah, I know, right? Because he's
mention that.
Yeah. Well, remember, diversity only counts for you if you lean left. If you if you don't lean the way they want, then you're just, you're straight white male, whether you are or not. So.
Reason says it's absolutely true that Vance and Thiel are fans of Lord of the Rings, fantasy series by J.R.R. Tolkien. Many arch conservatives and probably alt-right figures are as well. Yes, and Hitler wore pants. What's the point? Hitler liked puppies too. Did you know that?
Oh my gosh, I like puppies.
You're practically Hitler.
I know, right?
Moderates love Lord of the Rings. So do liberals, lefties, and the completely apolitical. That's because Lord of the Rings is one of the most popular and best-selling book series of all time. God, she's dumb. The films, adapted for the screen by Peter Jackson, were among the highest grossing movies of all time. They won 17 Academy Awards. Amazon just spent a bunch of money on it. Embracer Group, which is pretty left-leaning, they dropped a bunch of coin to buy Middle-earth, which what could possibly go wrong? But this has been going on for a while, right? This whole attack on Tolkien has been going on for a while, and I'm convinced that the reason for it is because it's popular and it has a lot of cultural impact, and it's just like Star Wars, just like anything else. We got to latch on to it, deconstruct it, and it's actually the deconstruction of Tolkien, which has been like the Tolkien Society has been trying to deconstruct J.R.R. Tolkien because they don't like him because he was a straight white conservative
but they
Christian
sure as hell
man.
Want to run his work, so they
would like to. That's the thing. These people, they latch on to something, they deface it, destroy it, corrupt it, and try to claim it, try to pass it off as their own. And yeah, I think the Rings of Power originally was supposed to be part of the deconstruction of Tolkien, but it didn't do very well. But yeah, this is ridiculous. It's come from National Review. It said, does the left really want to argue that enjoying Lord of the Rings is far right? Yeah, it's been going on for years. This is not a new phenomenon. This has actually been going on for a while.
How's this going to go for Amazon? If they're going to try to say that if you like Lord of the Rings, you're an alt-right Yahtzee, and Amazon's audience predominantly is going to lean probably left for that show, how is that going to work?
Oh God. So yeah. Okay. So this is what she's. Is this what she said? Maddow reacted to Donald Trump's selection of JD Vance as his running mate by knowing that Vance's connections to tech billionaire Peter Thiel and finding fault in their affinity for Tolkien's work.
Well, so wait, because he knows Peter Thiel, he automatically is that makes Tolkien stuff bad.
Well, no, because he's naming it Narya, which you can remember because it's Aryan, but you move the N to the front. Oh, I can't. Apparently, the word has something to do with elves and rings from Lord of the Rings. I don't know. I don't know what it means, but I'm going to say it's bad because Peter Thiel and, conservatives.
Okay. Well, ironically, if you take Maddow and you change one of the D's to a C, you get mad cow. So clearly...
She is a disease, right?
So,
there you go. Rachel Mad Cow.
I'm just like, really? Come on. I just can't make this shit up.
She is so beyond parody. She is. I'm not convinced that she isn't a far right figure pretending, doing her best bit as being what the far right thinks the far left is, because she is a cartoon character.
Pretty much.
She is. She's a freaking cartoon. She's like she's beyond parody. Maddow's snide rant towers to such absurd heights, according to the National Review, as to resist being taken seriously. But let's try. They said they're talking about it. They said that this is a thing, right? The Lord of the Rings, very beloved work. The level of success is difficult to achieve with a narrowly cast partisan appeal. There are conservative fans of Tolkien. He said he wrote a letter to a priest discussing emerging affection for the works among Catholics. That Lord of the Rings is, of course, a fundamentally religious and Catholic work unconsciously, but consciously in the revision. But there are fans of Tolkien on the left. In the 60s and 70s, the emerging counterculture found so much to love in the Lord of the Rings. They did. They basically thought Bilbo was like a hippie. They did. And then we even had Leonard Nimoy singing Tolkien Hobbit songs. Tolkien's work deals in transcendent and timeless themes, good versus evil. That is the problem. That is the problem, because heroes in current year to some of these people are problematic in and of themselves, because heroes are privileged. Heroes are, fighting for a cause that they don't necessarily believe in. So we have to deconstruct them. We've seen so much deconstruction of heroes in pop culture, and that's usually the first thing they go for, right? Like they get a hold of a Star Wars, or they get a hold of a Marvel, or they get a hold of whatever it is, and the first thing they do is try to deconstruct the hero, try to deconstruct the... Well,
they want to usually change it in some way, race swap it, gender swap it.
Right.
Make it every man. If there's a person that earned it, they just got it because they were because they happen to be a different race or gender, not because they actually earned it. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Because it's toxic to be a dude.
Tolkien would scoff at Maddow's apparent contention that Narya, the Elvish ring of power after which Vance named his venture capital firm, has some connection to the Aryan racial mythology in 1938. Yeah, Tolkien didn't like Nazis, by the way. I want to put that. Tolkien fought in a war. He did fight in World War I. But he wasn't a big fan of Hitler, I don't believe. In 1938, Tolkien entered discussions for The Hobbit to be published in German. The German publisher he was working with wondered whether he was Aryan. Speaking to his English publisher, Tolkien wondered whether the country's lunatic laws required confirmation that he was, and if so, preferred no German translation appear at all if it meant giving any color to the notion that he subscribed to the wholly pernicious and unscientific race doctrine. Basically, if you think that, or you want me to claim that, or whatever the hell it is, I'd rather you not publish my book.
Right. And it gets better. He wrote them specifically. And here's a part of his reply for Mad Cow to notice. I'm not of Aryan extraction. Go ahead. You can read the rest. I just want to say that part.
That is Indo-Iranian. As far as I am aware, none of my ancestors spoke Hindustani, Persian, Gypsy, or any related dialect. But if I am to understand that you are inquiring whether or not I'm Jewish... That's basically what they were trying to hey there, Tolkien, we can't, is it Tolkien or Tolkienstein? Which is it? I can only reply that I regret that I appear to have no ancestors of that gifted people. Oh my God. My great-great-grandfather came to England in the 18th century from Germany. The main part of my descent there is therefore purely English, and I am an English subject, which should be sufficient. I've been accustomed nonetheless to regard my German name with pride. I just hear this in Bilbo's voice. Like, this is a very like a Bilbo-esque thing, and continue to do so throughout the period of the late regrettable war in which I served the English army. I cannot, however, forbear to comment that if impertinent and irrelevant inquiries of this sort are become the rule in matters of literature, then the time is not far distant when a German name will no longer be a source of pride. But yeah, Mad Cow.
But in that area, you moron. Okay, you can't. I love how these people just try to rewrite stuff, and they try to, like, you know, just adopt it and then, you know, put their ridiculous ideas into it and then claim that's the truth.
Wow, this is insane. Yeah, so this just makes her look incredibly stupid.
Well, again, and if I were Amazon, I'd be concerned, because now you just told, because she said that, and people on the far left listen to her. They're gonna be like, oh, I don't know.
Listen to
I'm
her?
assuming some of these people, the dumb ones, are gonna be like, oh, I can't watch that show now because if I do, I'm supporting Hitler. Oh, wait, maybe I'm looking at this wrong. They might all watch it now because, you know, they thought that she's implying that he was, you know, against Jews. So they might all watch it now because, remember, it's completely cool now. Well, now we know Hitler.
Now we know what happens to all the brown hobbits, right? No, I just, like, this is the dumbest. I mean, look, she's had some really dumb takes. This is one
of the dumber ones.
This is one of the dumbest takes she's ever had. I mean, she's basically just looking for anything she can look for to throw shade at JD Vance because she views him as a political adversary. So now we're going to start nitpicking Tolkien, and it's ridiculous. But again, the deconstruction of Tolkien and the attack on Lord of the Rings started long before Rachel Maddow made her idiotic comment. It's been going on for years. Even within the Tolkien Society, they want to deconstruct the whole thing. And it's bled out into Dungeons and Dragons. Where do you think the whole orcs are racist thing came from? It came from them trying to deconstruct Tolkien and twisting his words around, twisting his intentions around, and then somehow turning the orcs into a stand-in for, certain races of people, which is really freaking stupid. They're just bad guys, right? It was good versus evil. They're just bad guys. It's as simple as that. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.